Here's your news from March 9th, 2020. We're kicking off today's video with news from the Elimination Chamber as Becky Lynch has her opponent for WrestleMania 36. At the pay-per-view, Shayna Baszler won the Elimination Chamber main event, meaning she will challenge for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania, and in an interesting booking decision, Baszler eliminated every single one of her opponents with the Kirifuda clutch. As the fourth entrant into the match, the Queen of Spades immediately tapped out Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan with the clutch and then used the same move to eliminate Natalya. After waiting for Liv Morgan to enter next, she too fell to the Kirifuda clutch as Baszler stared down Asuka, who was the final entrant, and also passed out in the devastating hold. Lynch herself was shown watching the chamber match twice as it was going on, and once more after Baszler's win. Their feud was kicked off last month when Baszler appeared on Raw and bit Lynch in the back of the neck, though the pair also met last year at November's Survivor Series, where the then NXT Women's Champion defeated both Lynch and SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. This match will certainly be a huge thing for WrestleMania, which will take place at the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida on April 5th. We've got some news from WWE's corporate side now as several stockholders are suing the company over the Saudi Arabia deal. Business Wire is reporting that the Robbins, Geller, Rudman, and Dowd Limited Liability Partnership launched the lawsuit against the WWE, alleging that the company, quote, made false and misleading statements and/or failed to disclose information regarding WWE's business and operations. The complaint says that the WWE deliberately misled stockholders about the rising tension with the Saudi government and mentioned the travel issues after last year's Crown Jewel event, and the recent exits of former WWE co-presidents George Barrios and Michelle Wilson. The lawsuit is the last thing WWE wants to be dealing with right now, so hopefully some sort of compromise will be found sooner rather than later. Some more worrying news now, as we've previously reported about the coronavirus that is popping up around the world, and now a WWE employee has apparently come into contact. Brad Shepard is reporting that a WWE employee has come into contact with the disease, but also said how this employee doesn't work at WWE's main headquarters in Stamford. According to reports, the employee is under self-quarantine, and a mass email has been sent out to everyone in the company, informing them how to respond to questions about whether the virus will hurt WrestleMania plans. Shepard's report also said that everyone is shaken up, but no symptoms have been reported yet, though WWE will still abide by all travel restrictions that might come up as well, and hopefully the virus vanishes soon. Interestingly, this report should be taken with a grain of salt, as the WWE on Fox Facebook account criticized Shepard, saying that he isn't a trusted news source on anything. Whatever the truth may be, WWE has no plans of changing WrestleMania 36, despite a couple of cases of coronavirus popping up around the Tampa area as well. Recently, WWE held a backstage meeting about the virus and how superstars can protect themselves, as it's clear that WWE is still monitoring the situation very closely. From WWE to Impact now, as Scott Steiner recently collapsed backstage at Impact's A-Town Beatdown event and had plenty of people worried when he was rushed to the hospital. Several wrestling stars, including Hulk Hogan, sent their best wishes to Freakzilla, and the PW Insider reported that Big Papa Pump has undergone a heart procedure, but didn't specify what kind of procedure he had. It seems to have gone well though, as Tommy Dreamer took to Twitter to say Steiner was doing okay, and Impact Executive VP Scott D'Amore later confirmed that Steiner is doing well, and thanked everybody for their support. Hopefully, this situation will pass and Steiner will go a very long time without needing to go to the emergency room. And it was very fortunate that Big Papa Pump was able to get the proper help he needed so quickly. In an update from Brad Shepard, one of his sources indicated that Steiner is expected to recover from what was a life-or-death situation, and he reported that the former WCW World Champion stopped breathing at one point, and they had to shock his heart. On Twitter, Steiner's wife Krista thanked everyone who assisted her husband throughout the ordeal, as it's clear that Impact Wrestling works like a family and that Steiner means a lot to them and their fans. It's fortunate that the company was prepared for this kind of situation, and hopefully it won't be too long until Freakzilla is back to 100%. We are going back to last night's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, as Braun Strowman's Intercontinental title reign wasn't very long at all. After capturing the title from Shinsuke Nakamura a few weeks back, Strowman let his words get away from him during a contract signing against the King of Strong Style, and after claiming that the match would end up with him fighting Nakamura as well as Sami Zayn and Cesaro, the match was made into a 3-on-1 handicap match. Though Zayn spent most of the match running from Braun, he was able to avoid getting those hands long enough and pinned the Monster Among Men to capture the Intercontinental title. This marks Zayn's first title on the main roster, as he was a former NXT champion, and it'll be interesting to see how Strowman, Nakamura, and Cesaro react to this shocking win as we continue on the road to WrestleMania. Speaking of the showcase of the Immortals, we're looking at a match that was planned but probably won't be happening now, and it concerns Sasha Banks. On Twitter, Alex McCarthy reported that the original plan was for the Boss to split with Bayley on the road to WrestleMania, culminating in a SmackDown Women's title match between the two on April 5th. McCarthy also said that with Banks' recent injury, the WWE has nixed these plans, and it's now unclear what role, if anything, Banks will have at WrestleMania. With the Boss out of the title picture, the current rumors are that it'll be Naomi who challenges Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title, but even this rumor has been changed recently. During the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, Bayley tweeted that she was giving the SmackDown Women's division the night off, but according to McCarthy, the former Hugger will be defending her title at WrestleMania in a six-pack challenge. The current lineup for the match sees Bayley facing Sasha Banks, Naomi, Lacey Evans, Carmella, and one more name, but with WrestleMania less than a month away, the WWE will need to work fast to get this title match announced for the show. From a current WWE Women's Champion to a former holder of the gold, as Stephanie McMahon has done plenty in WWE both in and out of the ring. Recently, the Billion-Dollar Princess appeared to accept the Women in Toys Changemaker Award at the New York Toy Fair and gave those in attendance a history lesson about WWE's toy line. In her acceptance speech, Stephanie said that growing up with her mother Linda as the CEO, she naturally assumed that women should be in the top of business, and revealed that it was Linda who came up with the idea for WWE's action figure line. She said, "It was actually my mom when she saw my brother playing with his G.I. Joes when she first had the idea that we should have a licensing business for WWE. I think our superstars should have action figures, and here we are so many years later with our partners Mattel." WWE's action figure line is stronger than ever, as the WWE recently celebrated its 10th anniversary with Mattel, after working for years with Jakks Pacific. The Mattel Basic Series 100 was a huge landmark for both companies, and the next time you pick up a figure, you'll know that you have Linda McMahon to thank. One person who has had plenty of WWE figures throughout his tenure is Matt Hardy, and though he isn't with WWE anymore, the former tag champion has had plenty to say about the company. After returning to WWE in 2017 with his brother Jeff, it wasn't long until Matt became Woken, a play on the Broken character he played in Impact Wrestling, and recently spoke about his Ultimate Deletion special in WWE. Speaking on PW Insider Elite Audio, Matt revealed that WWE had 2 more specials in the pipeline, but unfortunately couldn't make things work. He said, "I think the creative guys got the Broken character. You can say it's them, but it's not them. I mean, you see it all the time. Vince is the one. If he wants something to happen, it's happening." The Halloween special, myself and JB, Jeremy Borash, and what we did, I had creative control. This is very sad for me in many ways because in January I learned that they greenlit 2 other House Hardy specials because the first one did very well. I mean, I tried to get them to do it forever, like I'll write things and do it all myself, these things, and knock it out. Matt went on to say that though he tried to get Vince McMahon to approve on things, the boss wouldn't, and that the writers and producers didn't want to go ahead without McMahon's say-so. He also said that though WWE did have plans to bring back the Ultimate Deletion match concept, the process took too long, and by the time he got the okay to film more specials, he had already decided he'd be leaving. In that same interview, Matt also spoke about whether WWE could have convinced him to re-sign with the company, and admitted a more relaxed schedule could have made a difference. He said, "There would be a possibility, but I would need assurances. Like, this is really important to me, like how I do these next 3 or 4 years. Like, I'm not 23 or 24 years old. I have some good matches left in me, but I don't have a good match every day of the week, you know? And I can't do it 4 or 5 days in a row like I used to." Since his departure, Hardy has teased joining various promotions, and while the odds-on favorite is that he will be joining AEW, time will tell what's next for the former WWE superstar. From one former TNA World Champion to another now, as Rob Van Dam has been doing a lot in Impact since returning to the company, but will be out of action for a while. On Twitter, the former Impact, WWE, and ECW World Champion revealed that he recently suffered a broken rib that will keep him on the shelf for some time, and that it was a fall to the floor on Impact 2 weeks ago that caused this injury to happen. As a veteran of Impact Wrestling, WWE, and ECW, Van Dam has had plenty of injuries throughout his career, but at the age of 49, it may be time for the whole effing show to think twice before letting his body be slammed onto the hard floor. Back to WWE now, and we all know that the company is all about social media, and last week, the Vince McMahon-led promotion experienced a huge milestone. On Saturday, the company revealed that the official WWE YouTube channel had surpassed 40 billion views and acknowledged the fans who made this incredible milestone possible. Though this viewership online doesn't seem to translate directly into live TV numbers, it's still a very good indication that the WWE brand is doing well all around the world and remains very popular. One man who knows all about bringing in a big crowd is Triple H, and last week the game did just that, but outside the world of wrestling. Recently, the WWE's COO picked up the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Arnold Classic, which celebrates fitness and leadership in sports, and was also presented his award by the T-800 Terminator himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger. In his speech, the game cited a desire to give back whenever possible as one of his main mantras in life, and it's clear that Triple H's work in NXT, where he's helped develop the next generation of superstars, shows him giving back. It's no secret that the game and Arnie are friends, as the two appeared on the 12th episode of SmackDown together back in 1999, and the Predator star was also a part of the game's entrance at WrestleMania 31. We've mentioned Triple H's work in helping to foster the next generation of WWE superstars in NXT, and now we've got a spoiler for NXT UK, so if you don't want to hear it, please skip the next minute of the video. At a recent taping, a battle royal was made to determine the next contender for NXT UK champion Walter, and it was ultimately Ilya Dragunov who was the last man standing. Though it wasn't made official, it's highly likely that this title match against Walter will take place at the upcoming NXT UK TakeOver Dublin event, which is set to take place on April 26th at the 3 Arena in Dublin, Ireland. From NXT to SmackDown now, as Universal Champion Bill Goldberg is preparing for his title match against Roman Reigns, but the Hall of Famer is looking at the end of his career. During an appearance on The Bump, Goldberg spoke about the possibility of retiring, but admitted that he feels he can still go, and there's no chance of anyone convincing him otherwise. He said, "I remember ragging on Ric Flair for being 42 and being in the ring, and here I am 11 years his senior when I made the comment, and I'm still doing it. Just like I mentioned to someone yesterday saying, 'Hey, when are you gonna hang it up?' The fact is that if I get a phone call and I can still do what I did back in the day and bring it to at least an acceptable level, then I'm not gonna say no." Though Goldberg believes he can still go, his Super Showdown 2019 match against The Undertaker has led many to believe the Hall of Famer should just hang up his boots, though it'll be a difficult task to convince the reigning Universal Champion to walk away from the ring anytime soon. We've mentioned that Goldberg will be defending his title against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania on April 5th, but the show will just be one event of a huge week, which will include the WWE's annual Hall of Fame ceremony. So far, the NWO, the Bella Twins, Batista, and JBL have all been announced, and this week, the next inductee will be revealed on Corey Graves' After the Bell podcast. Out of all the names who were reported, everyone except the British Bulldog and Jushin Thunder Liger have been confirmed, though it looks like it'll just be a matter of days before one of these two legends is awarded the rightful spot in the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2020. And finally today, we're ending with an update on Dana Warrior, as the widow of the Ultimate Warrior was brought into the company's creative team around this time last year, but quickly moved up the corporate ladder. Part of Dana's success comes reportedly due to many in the writing team either quitting or being fired, and whilst fans haven't heard much of her in a while, the PW Insider is reporting that she is still a part of WWE's creative team. We'll have to see what kind of contributions she can make to the WWE's product, but for now, the wife of the WWE Hall of Famer is still going strong on the company's creative team.